Hello everybody. In today's video we will be working on a Minolta SRT-201 camera. This camera came to us with one specific interesting problem. This problem has to do with advance. It's a combination of basically it's an advance and shutter issue, if you will. So what happens is that when you wind your advance lever, it's supposed to release, and it does. However, it also needs to be able to, if you're undercharging it, okay, it needs to be able to not allow you to release the shutter. So I'll give you an example. So let's say if I do a full wind until it stops, I release, right? And if I do a partial wind, this button now is supposed to be locked in, okay, preventing you from basically wasting film. Now what happens now is it doesn't do it. So it just wasted my film and undercharged my shutter. Okay, now I have to wind it all over again until it basically locks in and release. Now if I do a partial wind, it releases my shutter without really fully winding the frame. Okay, so aside from that, there is really no other issues. So let's go ahead and investigate. I have my suspicions right now, but let's see if it's in fact the case. So let's basically open the bottom cover. This has to do with the pretty much bottom cover of the camera. And let's dig into it now. Okay, gonna go ahead and remove this washer, and now here's our process here. So I wind the lever fully and it releases. I wind the lever partially and it releases, but it sounds differently because it didn't fully wind the advance. So the reason why I see a problem here right away, by the way, the reason why it's doing it is because this winding stopper here, okay, I'll put the spring back in place, is not properly moving, okay, side to side, preventing this release from locking, okay? So let's go ahead and investigate what we have going on here. And I'm gonna go ahead and, so you can see it from a better angle, put a little, so to speak, stand here with my body cover. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this battery chamber. Okay, all right, so if you're interested, the process is this. Now that it's fully exposed, it's winding. There's a lot of, levers that are being engaged here, from left to right, okay, and I can clearly see that this particular section has been basically mangled, so to speak. How that happened, I don't know, but let's see if we can remove this thing here and either repair or replace it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the tension from this lever first so it doesn't press on my defective portion here. So, and I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. Oh, I clearly can feel that this screw has been completely bent because it's moving side to side. It doesn't come out straight up. Okay, I'll put this away. Now let's see what we've got here. We've got a stopper. Okay, so that is fine. So we'll leave it there. Let's see, so this could be, all right, just a screw. Yeah. As you can see, this stopper is pretty much snapped in half. Okay. This is our culprit, this is our problem, right here. Okay, so we have no choice but to replace it, and luckily enough I do have a few that I can spare. Let's see here again. Here's our replacement right here. Okay, so let's see if we can put it in. It's going to be a little tricky putting this guy in the right position, given that there's a lot of springs that could spring at any time. Let's see. It does require a lot of patience, that's for sure, especially. Let's see if we can maneuver it here a little better. Not quite. Not as easy as I thought it's gonna be. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this spring here so it doesn't push on this lever from the other side. See if that's gonna allow us to get in there. Okay. Okay, I think we've got something here. All right. I think we are on the right track. Reposition these springs properly because that's important. Spring one. Okay, now we have to put the other spring back in place. Let's see if we can grab it from here. There we go. Got that in place as well. I'm going to tighten up this main one. There we go. And then lastly, we'll put stopper spring here. Now let's see what happens next. So as I wind it, you can clearly see, look at the motion of this section here, how it stays in place, and this is my release pin right here, right below. If I'm trying to release now, this release stopper is in place until it's fully wound. Now if I go all the way up, boom, it switches, okay, allowing me to now release. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and repeat it from here so you can see it better. So let's say I undercharge it. Okay, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. If I fully charge it, it's supposed to allow me to release it now, and that's exactly what it's doing. All right, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of lubrication around these areas here. And again, that's the only thing I'm going to demonstrate as far as this camera is concerned right now, and I'll take care of the rest of the overhaul procedures later on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the battery chamber back. Again, I think what could have contributed to this problem, and I've seen it a lot, when for whatever reason the camera stops releasing or winding, customers sometimes try to force either press in the release button, which basically forces this pin inwards and pretty much causes this lever to break from the sheer force of you pressing this button, if it's actually in its way. Or it could be when it's wound, okay, on gently, so to speak, and it could cause some additional problems too. So basically, the rule of thumb, is if something is stuck, okay, or doesn't work the way it used to, try not to force anything, okay, because chances are that if it breaks, it'll need a part that is, in some cases, in most cases, not attainable. I just do have certain supply of parts available that I can contribute to these repairs, but another shop may not, and they will render it unrepairable or not be able to even find a problem. So be careful with that. You know, if it doesn't allow you to wind or release, there's probably a reason for it. Don't force it. All right, so let me go ahead and put the bottom cover together, and that should pretty much do it for this repair. And here's our camera, SRT-201. Thank you for watching.